Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you. And I know I always open it up with this is going to be a special player profile. But this one just melts my heart because on the other side, we have the now senior Michael McKenzie. And we call him McNuggies. We call him Mikey McNuggies, whatever you call him. Now you got to call him medalist because, dude, you started off the 2022 golf season with a bang. Medalist, what is it, 39 you shot?
Yeah, 39.
Dude, lights out. Just absolutely finding the cup wherever it was. How did we get here, Mikey? Like you started with us when you were in 8th grade, and now you're a senior. I feel like it has been just blink your eyes and it's here. You're a senior, man. I can't believe it. Can you?
No, not. I came up on really all of us so quick. Just again, like you said, blink of an eye. Senior year, and really at least with YSN, I really liked pointing back to that COVID year. I did a lot of stuff. Power hour. Hopefully we can. I'm definitely going to try to get back on there for the fall year for everybody. Try to do a little more into the winter season as well, but. Like you said, blink of an eye. And I definitely think that, the sophomore and junior year with all the things that we had to go through, it felt like that was kind of what catapulted us so quickly from 8th grade year, starting out with YSN 2. Now we're here senior year and being on the other side of the interview this time.
So it's funny you say it. You're on the other side of the interview. You are usually where I'm sitting interviewing your peers, your dad, whoever it may be, other coaches. And now you finally get to be on the other side of that chair. So we're going to try to make it easy for you, but we're going to throw some curveballs at you because, hey, you're going to be a broadcaster. You already are a broadcaster, but you're going to school to get your degree in broadcasting. So I got to show you little tricks of the trade. So here we go. You ready?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, man. Again, senior year, you're here, you're golf, you play basketball, you play baseball, you're in sports every single time you turn around. What has been your best memory to this far in your athletic career at Beaver Local?
There's a couple that I think of, one from basketball and one from baseball. I'll go with the one from baseball since it's kind of the sport, I like the most. This past year, we went up to Edison, my old stomping grounds. It was winning into extra innings. We were down 2-0 heading into the 6th inning, I believe. Early, I think in the 3rd inning, started out at third base, which was a bit unconventional, but I ended up, loving playing at third base, even though I'd been a second baseman my whole life. Ended up loving playing at the hot corner. Turned a 5-3 double play there earlier in the game. 6th inning, we're down 2-0. Runner on second, nobody outs. That was probably the best hit I had all year. RBI double down the right field line. I ended up coming around to score. We tie it that inning. We go to extras, and it is 2-2 still. We ended up taking the lead 3-2, and then in the 8th inning, it was I ended up getting the 4. I think it went 4-6 put out to end the game. I would like to say that was the best game I've played of baseball in my entire life. At the new Edison baseball field, against some of my old friends at my old stomping grounds. I definitely have to say that one takes the cake.
All right, you guys, you and your family have been sports fanatics your entire life. Just absolute nuts. Mostly, if not all, Pittsburgh, correct?
It's about 90% Pittsburgh. Then the other 10% goes to Columbus, Ohio for the Buckeyes. But professionally, it's nothing but Pittsburgh.
There you go. Okay, so why is it? I mean, you grew up and you were obsessed with sports, the broadcasting aspect of it, which we're going to get into a little bit deeper. But people might or might not know this. You've done interviews with John Buccigross. You've done some pretty high-level interviews, not just before you were in high school, but like you had the full suit on interviewing some of these high-profile people. What was it about broadcasting that really caught your attention and made you want to be a broadcaster as opposed to what everybody else wants to do, and that's actually be on the field and be a professional, whatever, baseball, football, whatever player?
Now, obviously, as a little kid, I had those dreams, of being the one on the field. But, listening to sports radio talk hosts, listening to guys like Greg Brown and football announcers like Jim Nantz, Al Michaels, those guys, just listening to them always talk about sports and always being, from the moment I was born, really just drawn to sports and being a bit of a talkative person. It really piqued my interest really to talk about the thing that I love the most, and I'm being paid to do it if that is what I end up doing. That's the plan, obviously. But, being able to talk about the thing I love the most and being as someone who really likes to talk, that's what really piqued my interest the most. And even though I did have those dreams of playing on the field, I kind of knew from a young age, I don't think I have quite the talent to really get that far. So the next best thing of being involved in sports was to be a sportscaster, broadcaster, whether it be an analyst, announcer, whatever it is. That's the next best route. And honestly, I'd say that was the best route now that I'm at this point in my life.
I think you nailed it down, brother. I think you nailed it down, and you've been a great one, and you're only going to get better from here. Let's talk about this Beaver Local golf team. You guys are unstoppable. I mean, this is one of the most under-the-radar teams that I've ever seen, not only on YSN, but around the area. Beaver Local golf just continues to get it done. What is it about this team that makes it good year in and year out?
I would have to say just, the love for the sport that everybody has. I point back to last year, the 4 seniors we had, they all really love the sport of golf, especially Luke Eister. He's going to the next level to play going to, I believe it's Notre Dame and Ohio College to play golf. Skylar Pappas was really good. I mean, they were all better than I was last year, at least. Logan Hours, he's going to Wyoming for wrestling, but he also loved the sport of golf. Aiden Pilarczyk, they all really had a love for the sport, a genuine interest in the sport, and that genuine interest really made us so much better as a team because we were all drawn to the same thing. And we had really a chemistry that I feel like nobody else really had. We were so comfortable playing the sport, playing with each other, not really nervous around each other. And that's just what I believe really made this team special. Now, we're a bit younger this year, but again, I still feel like that, genuine interest in the sport is still there. And the team chemistry, just being so comfortable around each other, allows us to continue to play so well.
All right. So as a newcomer to golf, I already have my favorite clubs, right? You look in your bag and you go, okay, number 1, your driver, always, because you just want to go big dog all the time off the tee.
Oh, yeah.
I like the 8-iron. I'm still learning to use my hybrids. Pitching wedge is getting better, but I mean, there's so many different clubs in that bag. You got to love one of them more than the most. It's I mean, not that you want to have kids yet, but it's kind of like kids. You love them all, but one just gets a little bit more attention. What's the club in your bag that gets a little bit more attention than the other ones?
I'm between my hybrid and I would say my 7-iron, just because I can hit my hybrid straight and almost as far as my driver, I'd like to think. But the 7-iron, it's just so you can use it in pretty much any situation. I find myself using it at the very least on every other hole, and I like to think I'm good hitting the 7-iron. So I'll go with the 7-iron just because of how often I use it, but that fairway safe also definitely has to get a lot of love.
All right, I got to ask. Your old man is one of the most competitive people I know. Do you guys ever have it out on the course? Do you go mano a mano?
I will say this year, not so much, but the past 3 years, we definitely have at Turkana and then Beaver Meadows. It's only about a 5-minute drive from here. We definitely go at it. And I will say freshman and sophomore year, he had my number quite a bit, but we've been getting better. And I definitely think I'd have his number if we went back out on the course about, here today, tomorrow. I would definitely say I got his number.
Oh, that is not going to go well for you, man. That is not, I can't wait to do Coach's Corner now. Because that's the first question that's going to come up. Hey, this summer, Coach, what did you do? Did you play any golf? Did Michael beat you? I'm excited, man. Okay, so let's talk plans for you. Obviously, you're going to go to college. You're going to go trying to get this broadcasting degree. What schools have piqued your interest thus far, and why?
First, I would definitely say Syracuse. That's really the high-profile school, Division I. They're generally good in a lot of sports. A lot of sports broadcasters have gone there. A lot of big names come out of Syracuse. The Newhouse School of Communications, just one of the most well-known communications school in the country, but also Waynesburg. They've got a great program there led by Laney Ferteri, the former Pirates play-by-play broadcaster. Feels like it's a lot closer, close to WVU. I've got some family and friends that go there right now and wouldn't be too far of a drive from home. So definitely feel like it wouldn't be too homesick, but again, it's also a great, communication school. Seems like you get a lot of experience out there in Waynesburg.
Most people are looking forward to, at this point, signing day. They go to college, they play their sport that they love, that they play the entire time. I know for me, where I was sitting kind of where you were, not nearly as polished or as good as you, but I know that I was excited to be the announcer for those games, those broadcasts. Is that kind of funneling through your mind? Is, hey, if you go to Syracuse, you could be doing, March Madness games for Syracuse University. If you go to Waynesburg, you could be doing some high profile games in the President's Athletic Conference, taught by one of the guys that I don't know if you listened to him growing up, but you've definitely heard his voice on those Pirate broadcasts. I mean, does that stick out to you?
About every other day. Sometimes I'll get on YouTube and I'll look up some of those, documentaries or a day in the life of some of those sports broadcasters and just see what they go through every day in the sports broadcasts. So the thought definitely crosses my mind very frequently to be calling some of those high profile games and just, doing so much great stuff and high profile stuff. Like you said, in the President's Athletic Conference with Waynesburg, or maybe, Division I March Madness, things like that with Syracuse.
Is there one particular thing, bucket list, that you definitely want to do before you hang it up at Beaver Local? And then is there one that, if you could do it in your life, what would you want to broadcast and why?
Starting out with my life, I'll go from start to finish March Madness, just because that's been obvious. That's the first thing that really drew my interest in basketball, at least. The tournament, I believe it was in 2012 when my parents said, "You follow March Madness?" I'm like, "No, what is that?" It's like this big college basketball tournament. Watch it the first year, and as an Ohio State football fan, obviously, attached to Ohio State basketball. That's the farthest I've seen them make it in my entire life. But the tournament itself was just absolutely just caught my eye. And I would love to call that from start to finish, from the first round to national championship game. And then at Beaver Local, I would have to say this upcoming basketball season would like to bring home a sectional title and beat East Liverpool a couple of times.
Oh,
those are the two things I'm looking at.
Wow,
that's what we're gunning for
that
this season.
That was a dagger out of nowhere. All right. If you know anything about Beaver Local and you're sitting here watching this, and East Liverpool, you know that it's a great rivalry. And obviously, as a senior, you want to go out on top. All right, Michael, it's time for the favorite part of this, which is naturally going to be your go-to, your machine gun kind of questionnaires. All right, you ready?
All right.
Your favorite color?
I'm gonna go red.
That's a good answer for a Beaver Local guy. If you said blue, we might be having to have a conversation. All right, your favorite meal?
Chicken tenders and French fries.
Oh, shocker. Still, McNuggies is still there. All right. What's the best thing that mom or dad cooks?
I'll have to say my mom learned it from her aunt, my great aunt, Suzanne. It's not necessarily chicken. It's like a chicken breast that we cut into tenderloins, obviously. It's still very similar to the go-to meal, but she cuts it into 4 tenderloins. It takes her about 12 minutes to make, but love it every time she makes it.
Best advice you've received from someone outside your family?
Best advice. Oh, that's a tough one. I'll go since I'm thinking about going into sportscasting and sports announcing. You can never know too many people.
All right. Best advice you received from somebody inside your family?
Never quit on anything. That's something my parents taught me from a young age. They never let me quit on anything, and that's really helped me to this point in my life.
What's one thing that helped you in sports that maybe a peer or teammate told you?
This one. This isn't going to be like a piece of life advice or anything like that, but I will say, I think it was freshman year. Nathan Barber, at that point, the captain on the team, told me, "Don't stop shooting. Keep shooting.
I love
Keep shooting the ball."
Best friend that didn't wear the same color uniform as you did?
Never wore the same color uniform, technically speaking, but a neighbor with my grandma, Ethan Arner.
Okay. Favorite video game?
Right now, I'm gonna have to go Madden. Even though their ratings absolutely suck, I'm still gonna go with Madden.
Favorite sport?
I have multiple answers for this, but I'm going to stick with one. I'm going to go with baseball.
Okay, that's fair. I had you pegged for football, but I'll take it.
I'll
Because
tell you what, football is my favorite sport to watch, but baseball is definitely my favorite to play, and I love watching baseball as well, so I can't go wrong either way with it.
all right, here's one just for you. Your favorite piece of sports memorabilia that you own? Because you own a ton.
I do own a ton. This is very difficult to pick from. I'm gonna have to go with the a home run derby baseball hit by Todd Frazier in 2015. That was actually the walk-off home run he hit to win the whole thing.
You got that.
Well, I own it technically, but the old man's the one that caught it. So
Okay, all right. Now I got you. I own it, but my old man's the one that caught it. Got it. All right. What's one piece of sports memorabilia you want?
I'm gonna go with the TJ Watt signed jersey. I have the jersey, but if I got it signed, that would be 100 times better.
All right. Advice that you would give to your younger brother?
Advice that I would give to Nicholas. Yeah, again, sorry, I'm taking a minute on these.
You're fine. It's your show, buddy.
I'm gonna have to go with never be afraid to show your true colors. No matter what anybody would say about you, never be afraid to show your true colors.
All right. Give a shout out to your mom and dad and tell them how much they've meant to you and your whole family, really, how much they've meant to you along this entire journey you call high school.
I mean, shout out everyone, mom, dad. I mean, even Nicholas. You know, everybody's played such a big part. You know, in me getting to this point. You know, Nutter. That's what we call my grandma, and then at least on my mom's side of the family, me, mom, my dad's side. They've all done so much to help me, you know, picking me up from school on some days, you know, over Christmas break, just having fun experiences. Mom and dad get to see dad a little extra now that we're both going to the same school. But, you know, everybody's played such a big part in my life to this point, you know, everything from just putting food on the table to giving me the smallest or the biggest pieces of advice, pushing me to be my best every day and everything I do.
Who's a role model for you that is in the professional sports world?
I'm going to go with Jim Nance.
Hello, friends. Who's a role model for you in your everyday life?
I'll have to go with both of my parents. Just both of them just play such an instrumental role in my life. They always set such a great example.
Final question. You ready for this one? Are you the best golfer in YSN?
Whew. I can't say that. I can't.
You're gonna find out.
I have
tomorrow.
I mean, for sure, but I would have. I want to be confident.
Who would be the best fight?
Here's the problem here. I want to be confident to say yes, but I'm not sure what kind of talent we have with golf at YSN. I know I saw Brian at an outing a couple of weeks ago, caught up there. I know Quinn.
Neither am I.
Brian's not good.
Yeah, neither one of us are good at golf. So you're
okay.
safe.
Okay. I know Quinn said he wasn't that bad at golf.
Quinn said he's not bad. That is, if he was on Maury Povich, that would be a lie.
Okay, that's it's been a minute since I've been on a show with Betos, but they said he could drive a ball. He says he can drive a ball, but I might screw around and find out, but I'll go ahead and say yeah.
All right.
We'll be confident here.
We'll put you to the task. We'll have to get out on the course. Looking forward to Michael. I'm so proud of you. I mean, having you come in as an 8th grader, announce with the quote unquote big boys, and take become the face of the franchise for Beaver Local on YSN. You have taken that baton and you have run with it, breaking records along the way. So proud of you. We're always here for you, but it was fun to be able to sit down and talk to you as an athlete, and as you know, one of those guys to be on the other side of the microphone. Hope you had fun. We're rooting for you, and naturally, you're always welcome on YSN. literally whenever you want. Thanks so much for sitting down with us on this player profile brought to you by Forever Homes Realty of Michael McKenzie. Thanks, Mikey.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, DJ. Nice to be on the other side for once.